What's up, nation? Welcome to another True Raider podcast. Now, today I want to talk to you guys about this whole debate that's going on with, it seems like some of the nation is stuck on Jayden Daniels. I personally like Jayden Daniels. And then some of the nation is stuck on Michael Penix Jr. I personally love Michael Penix Jr. as well. So, there's this whole thing that's going on where, yeah, I just want to tell you guys my background with this first, right? And leading up to, you know, uh, before the whole hype that was going on, even behind Jayden Daniels, I was watching Michael Penix Jr., right? And I was seeing a lot of things that I liked, and I really felt like he was going to be like the sleeper of the draft, right? Now, I will tell you guys, my number one is Jayden Daniels, but it hasn't always been that way. And I was watching Michael Penix Jr., and, when he was playing against Michigan and, the national championship, I actually when they lost, I really thought that this was going to be good for the nation, right? Because I thought what was going to happen is his draft stock is going to drop, and all of a sudden he's going to be easier to get, right? And a lot of draft boards had him, predicted as a second round and things like that, mostly because of his injury history. And I really thought that that was going to be good for the nation. Now, this thing that happened was all of a sudden, Jane Daniels mentioned um, our head coach and our assistant head coach in his Heisman speech. And when this happened, um, all of a sudden the hype around Jayden Daniels started to grow and grow and grow. And so I really started paying attention more because, I don't really watch college football. So he wasn't really on my radar. Excuse me. And what I saw was, Jayden Daniels, not only is he a skilled quarterback, when it comes to throwing, when it comes to running, when it comes to, moving around in the pocket, reading defenses. He's just got a lot of skills, right? And he's got a pretty clean bill of health. But more than anything, what I saw is that he's AP's guy, and him being AP's guy. Like because Jayden Daniels, he's going to be a good quarterback no matter where he goes, right? But let's say he's, on a 1 to 10 scale, let's say his rookie year, anywhere he goes, let's say he's going to play at a 6 or a 7. I really feel that if he goes to Las Vegas Raiders, he's going to play at an 8, 9, or 10 level, just because of Marvin Lewis and AP and what that's going to look like in the culture fit. Now, Michael Penix Jr., all of a sudden, his draft stock has started to just skyrocket, right? And I keep seeing on social media all these people posting their mock drafts, and they're mocking, Michael Penix Jr. going in the second round. And I hate to break it to you guys, but Michael Penix Jr. is not going to fall to the second round. There are way too many quarterback needy teams for him to. I don't even know if he's going to be there at 13. And you guys will see the next video that's coming out is going to be more of a breakdown of why I believe that he's not going to fall to the second round, right? But we got a lot of quarterback needy teams, including us, and I really think that there's going to be 5 quarterbacks that go in the first 10 picks. So, what we're looking at right now because of that is, okay, Jayden Daniels is obviously the Raiders' number one guy, right? And I feel like Michael Penix is their number two. But the problem we face with that is there's other teams that are really looking at Michael Penix Jr. and they're drafting ahead of us. Some of these teams might even move up to get him. There was a report that came out by Jordan Schultz, and what he said was the Minnesota Vikings, and this was yesterday, the Minnesota Vikings had a private workout with Michael Penix Jr. after his pro day last week. They didn't just have the main personnel of head coach Kevin O'Connell, uh, but they brought the entire staff. And, this whole thing about them having a private workout with him, really it makes me believe that they are thinking highly of him. There's been reports that, maybe the Vikings aren't going to move up in the first round, and maybe what they're looking to do is, just continue to build their roster and move forward with Sam Darnold for a year. And they're talking about him going for Deion Sanders' son, Shador Sanders, next year. And so there's like a lot of speculation that's going around that. And, I don't really know what they're going to do. But if they're pulling him in for a private workout, that tells me that they have some genuine interest in him. And if they really believe that he's their guy and they don't want to spend all the draft capital to move up to get a Jayden Daniels, a J.J. McCarthy, a Drake May, they might be satisfied with picking a Michael Penix Jr. and they're drafting before us. Not only that, but they also have 2 first round picks. They're put in a position where they could maybe even hold at 11 and get him there and then still have another first round pick to help build their roster. Another thing that we're looking at is, you know, Mitchell Renz. He broke the news yesterday, and I'm gonna read it off here because I don't want to speculate, right? But he said, per source, he did not give up his source. He said, per source, the Las Vegas Raiders tried trading up with the Dolphins, and Miami said no. Uh, right now, Las Vegas Raiders are currently trying to get another first round pick. And I don't know if they're going to continue contacting other teams and see if they can get another first round pick through somebody else, but they did try with Miami. And this is something that would be useful in them trying to trade up to get Jayden Daniels. Now, what the source said the trade would look like is Raiders would receive the 2024 first round pick from the Miami Dolphins, which is pick number 21. And what the Dolphins would get from us is our second round pick. All 3 of these picks are from 2024, so it would be this year. Second round pick, third round pick, and fourth round pick. Now, I don't really know how I feel about the idea of just basically um, trading away all of our picks from this year, right? Because if we're trying to move up, then we'd be including our first round pick from this year. And if we picked up a second round pick with those, then we'd be trading that first round pick and we'd have traded our second, third, and fourth from this year for that. And, 2 first round picks is not going to move us up high enough to get Jayden Daniels, right? It's going to take at least 3 picks. So then what we're looking at is moving these 2 first round picks and next year's first. Now, I think that that's worth more than a lot of the projected trades because it's 2 first rounders for this year, right? And that means we get to get paid now, not get paid later. So they already know it's going to be number 13 and number 21. Because when you trade for future first round picks, you're put in a position where you don't really know where that team's going to be drafting at, right? It could be that, they trade for our future first round picks and we have an awful season and they get a really high pick because of that. Or if we get our quarterback of the future and he truly is our guy and we have a really great breakout season, well, then it's going to be late in the first round, And so there's a lot of our future first round picks are not worth nearly as much as the ones that we have for this year, right? And so if we trade 2 for this year and next year's first, and we're able to move up to number 2 or number 3, right? Which moving to 2 is really difficult. But besides the speculation on that, what that means is this year we will have no first round, second round, third round, fourth round. Next year we don't have a first round. And that's a lot, right? The thing I do like about this is it's not mortgaging our future nearly as bad, right? Because yes, we will see, let's say we do these trades, we move up, we get Jayden Daniels, and he's either a bust, gets injured, or really doesn't perform to the level that we really thought he would. Well, then, we're in a position where at least next year we have, we're only missing a first round, right? And then the following year we'll have all our picks. And then it also puts us in a position where, okay, we did lose out on this year's draft and we didn't get to get a whole lot of the guys that we could have, but it's not really going to set us back nearly as far as if we trade away a lot of future picks as well. So I do like that because it's like if we're going to, sell the farm, it's like we're going to sell this year's, right? And we're going to put ourselves in position where, if that does not go well, then we have future draft capital. Now, if we do move all these picks and we get Jayden Daniels, then we're put in a position where not only do we have our quarterback of the future, but we also have our future draft picks. And that is, I think, an amazing move, right? But I don't know if we're going to do that, right? And I really think that, Jayden Daniels is plan A, Michael Penix Jr. is plan B. Now, if let's say we can't move up, right? Or we can't move up high enough to go and get Jayden Daniels. I don't know that Michael Penix Jr. is going to be around at pick number 13. And if Michael Penix Jr. is not going to be around at pick number 13, what are the Raiders going to do? Do we go ahead and just draft a good cornerback or a tackle, and just really build trenches and build our roster throughout this draft and look for a quarterback next year? Do we pick up a later rounds quarterback like a Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, which I don't really think that's in our best interest, or do we move up a couple of picks, because there were reports that, the Raiders were talking to teams to see what it was going to take up to move up to, 5, 6, or 7, right? And so if we move into that range, then it'll be a lot easier for us to secure a quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. But how much is that going to cost? And are you guys really willing to trade up to get Michael Penix Jr.? Because I feel like picking him at 13, it's a no-brainer, right? We don't lose draft capital. We get a really good quarterback, and we get to see if that's our guy, and we don't have to spend a lot to do it. To move future picks or some of our later picks in this year's draft to go and get Michael Penix Jr., I don't know if that's in our best interest, man. So you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. Please remember to hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.